You know, when politicians, especially politicians in Kenya, when they run out of ideas of trying to convince you to be on their side or to vote for them, what do? They always activate the tribal narrative. That is what they always use. And it has been used for a very, very long time. And has it been effective? Yes, it has been effective. And how do they do this? They start speaking about their community and how they are going to protect and how they are going to push people away who are not from their community. That is what politicians do. And this one is done by all politicians, all the way to the villages. And even when they are in a place whereby the people are of the same tribe, they still activate the sub-tribes narrative. That watu wa hii mlango na watu wa hii mlango hawafai sijui kufanya nini. And you must understand that the biggest enemy of progress in any country are the educated. Those people that we feel like are educated, those are the biggest inhabitor of progress in any country. Today I want to speak about that because there is a deliberate and a concerted effort to make sure that they push this tribal narrative. That before 2027 comes, that the country will be so divided based on tribe. And that is what people need to fight. That is the new war that people now need to fight against tribalism. But before I go into the details, if you are coming here for the first time, kindly take a second to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that anytime we post a video, you will always be the first to watch. So kindly do so. Na kama kawaida, I'll be back. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed, and for the return subscribers, I really, really appreciate you guys. So as I was saying, there is a concerted effort, a very deliberate effort to divide Kenyans along tribal lines. And the narrative is being pushed by none other than the politicians and the millennials. I think, and this goes to the Gen Zs, I think the biggest problem we are going to have in this country in the near future are the millennials. Because we have millennials who have been so much tribalized to a point whereby they can use any good English just to make sure that they sell the tribal narrative. And that is what they are doing. You can see them on social media speaking very big English, very complicated English, very complicated terms. But if you look at the undertone, it's just simple. That I'm standing with my tribe. That each tribe kama inapata shida, mimi napigwa risasi, mimi nafanya nini, we don't care. That is the thing. And that's why they always say that the more things change, the more they remain the same. Because we thought that by taking people to school and doing away with illiteracy, that people will be literate and will have a voice, will reason different from those people who have not gone to school. But we are seeing the same version of the same thing. Just that one person is just speaking good English. But they are all pushing the same thing. Mwenye agenda shule na mwenye ameenda shule, akili zao ni same. Their brain is same. Vile wanafikiria ni same. Why? It is because these people never left the village. They just went somewhere to acquire a different set of knowledge. But they are using that knowledge to push the same narrative that we have always wanted to avoid as a country. There are so many. There's a video I would like, because on this platform I don't stand people who speak tribalism, people who say that people should be shot. I don't stand those things. Because I'm really hoping that we'll come to a country whereby people will stop threatening people with the tribe and all these other things. That people will start talking of issues. That people will sit down and listen, that when people are agitated, they speak about issues and nothing else. And this one is, I always try to reach out to people, because remember, the struggles that we are going through has got nothing to do with tribe. And that is what these people always try to do. They always try to tell you that we are suffering because we are not in the government. We are doing this because we are not in the government. And those people who get opportunity to serve in the government, what do? They end up helping their own community to the expense of other community. They end up speaking of their community, that I will do this for my people, I will do this for my community, I will do this for my community. What about those people who will never see the government? Because we have communities in this country that have never even been close to anything meaningful in the government. We have so many tribes in this community. What about them? And this is what fuels some of this hunger and everything. And people now start feeling that if we have one of our own in the government, then we will be safe. Then we will live a good life. It is very, very unfortunate that the people who are taken to school, the millennials, are the one who are now pushing the tribal narrative on social media. They're the one speaking ill. They're the one talking down of the Gen Zs. Millennials have never fought for anything in this country. That's the reality. And now when the Gen Zs are coming out to express themselves, what do the millennials do? They tell them to shut up because they are used to the way things are. They are used to oppression. They are used to being told left, left, right, right. The Gen Zs must understand that the future, that the problem they are going to deal with is the millennials. Those are the people that they are going to give them problems. Because these people are not willing to change. These people still think like the old guys. They still think like the boomers. They still think like the Gen X. And it's because maybe they inherited those kind of mindset. Someone stands up and shuts the Gen Zs down. Whatever they are doing is useless. Tell me when millennials ever fought for anything in this country. Tell me when. Because even the people that fought for the second liberation were not millennials. These were the Gen X and the boomers. So millennials come from a point, from a section of this country whereby they were there just to be seen but not to be heard. And that's why they don't understand how the Gen Zs are coming out to speak, because they have always been taught that nyinyi we kaa skia, we fuata sheria, we fanya hivi. Now when the Gen Zs come and start expressing themselves, they're wondering, what are these kids doing? So the millennials are our biggest problem. Coming problem. Once we are done, once the old guards are gone, because they'll be gone. These politicians that you see, most of them in their 60 going up, what are done? They are done with their past. All they are just doing, they are just taking us in circles, thinking that we are. But the biggest problem that is coming ahead of us is the millennials, because their way of thinking has never changed from the way their parents and everything think. They are still pushing tribal narratives. Someone who has gone to school. Someone who has gone to school is still standing on a podium, is still going on a platform and writing all manner of tribal things. But he's hiding them under so many English. So many English. So that aonekane he's educated, he's informed, he's so much aware of what they're doing. Even people who are professionals. Someone is a doctor, but you look at his post and you read his post and you're wondering, what is this? Someone is a lawyer, but you look at the post and you wonder, what is this? So, that is what you people must understand. That our biggest threat in future will be nothing other, will be the millennials. Because these people, nimerudia na nimesema, these people are people who are not used. They have never been at a time in their youthful days when they ever came out in large number and stood for anything and fought for anything. It was always, even when the people used to call demonstrations, even when Raila used to call demonstrations, it was just a section of the millennials who are coming out. The rest are fighting them. But naambia nyinyi mnatuharibia country na nini, tulieni. So there was never a time where they were ever united to fight for anything. There was never such a time when they ever came as united and fought for a cause together. It was easy to divide them, and that is why they have always been divided, because that is how they have always been conquered. So Gen Zs need to understand that millennials cannot help you in terms of pushing the narrative of trying to make things work in this country, because they are always comfortable with the way things are. Millennials are always comfortable. Taxes itaongezwa, they will complain kidogo, watatulia. So anyone who is pushing a tribal narrative with so many English, because we are people are smart, we can read through the lines, we can know when in kizungu mingi, we call the inaitwa kizungu mingi, we can see through the lies. Anyone who is pushing a tribal narrative, thinking that you are being smart at it, you must understand that there is nothing you gain from that. What we are just doing, we are just making our country, we are just making our country bleed and suffer. There's nothing that comes out of tribalism. Can we for once sit back and just talk about issues? Can we for once be united and speak against tribalism? Can it for once happen? You must understand that those people who are pushing this tribal narrative, that is how they want to control us. There is nothing that you gain from a tribe. These politicians come to you and tell a tribal narrative. At the end of the day, how much do they give you? Maybe 200. You remain there in the village. Unabaki hapo kwa village na bado kuna zile shida zako. Bado huna job, because even if someone gives you 1,000 right now, what will you do with that money? You can only eat it for a day or two. Na hizo siku zingine when he will not be around. Hizo siku zingine wenye hata kuwa karibu, utakula nini? It is time for us as Kenyans to really sit down and think, so that in 2027 we go to the ballot and make the right decisions. We go to the ballot and make the right decisions. This country has no time for tribalism. We have no space to speak tribalism. We have no time to speak about tribalism. Let us sit down and think what we really want for this country. This tribal card has been used for way too long and people have suffered. Communities have suffered because of this. Can we have people who can change this narrative? Because right now there's a community that feels that they are in the government, so they feel like any suffering that is going outside there, it does not concern them. Things are happening outside there, people are losing life, but they are saying categorically that that is not our problem. But when it was their problem, when it was their community who was undergoing through the same thing, they used to say, mbona nyinyi hamuongei? The other communities were saying that's not our problem. So it is okay that tunataka tuendelee kuishi hivyo, that when your community is okay, even if you are not benefiting from it, then it is okay. The next time it will shift, it will come to your community, it will come back to you. Will you still expect the other side to support you? When things are wrong, you call them for what it is, you condemn what it is, because next time it can't be you. Not even it will be you. That is how things happen. So speak, so that when it happens to you, someone will speak on your behalf. It is very, very sad. I want us to really reflect. Anyway, guys, you can share your views in the comment section. Whatever you think, you can share in the comment section. But above it all, remain respectful. Do not insult anyone. Do not attack anyone. So, do that. Na kama kawaida, I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.